All of his co-workers were gone. What
All
could
right.
it mean?
What else can
Stanley
we do?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, next one. Next one we'll do a gaff one, right? New content? That seems suspicious. I don't trust this, but I'm gonna go for it anyway.
Oh, new content?
Yeah, new content,
What does
man.
that mean, new content?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the new content. Oh, look at it. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, an orange light. There's all sorts of new content here. This is stuff that I've never done before. Oh my gosh, it's so new. Oh, look at it. The walls are new.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
I don't trust this at all.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Are you about to make fun of me for buying this game?
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
You're really about to make fun of
well,
me for buying this game.
sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
They're about to make fun of me for buying this game. They're just like, haha, you liked this game and now we made more of it? You fool! Why would you do that? Why would you buy this? Anyway.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Yeah, you're right.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content.
The new
I've never
content.
been more ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Obviously, I've never done this before, so I really don't know what to expect, but I expect to be made fun of for buying this.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley
Or
Parable
maybe I'm being
Ultra
too
Deluxe,
defensive.
mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh, cool. Okay. White walls. And... the
All right.
jump circle?
All right, let's see.
Oh my gosh, you can jump
jump
inside this circle! I'm gonna jump all the jumps, guys. I'm gonna jump all of the jumps. I'm so excited that we finally get to jump. That's what the key bindings were for. We finally get to jump. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, this is the best new content I've ever seen in my life. Can you believe they finally added jumping? Can you believe they finally added the edit button to Twitter? Oh, well. Okay, great. That was great. I would rate it about 10 out of
is that
10.
it?
Well, you know, 9 out of 10
Surely
because of
that's
the
not
limited
all
number
the
of
new
jumps.
Content. There has to be something else, right?
Hopefully. I paid a lot of money for this game, actually. Well, not a lot of money. It was like $16 on sale or something like that. Yeah, anyway, jumps remaining. Pretty cool, not gonna lie. The feature could have been extended a little bit more. I feel like they could have made jumps unlimited if they really wanted to, but overall I had a good time of it, so I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 on the new mechanics. I didn't find any bugs in my playthrough, but then again, I was just doing a casual playthrough, so if somebody else does more like an in-depth playthrough, they could probably find some bugs in it, I'm guessing. Yeah, anyway, another elevator. See?
Goodness. Another elevator.
Yes.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this
In
is
what
new
realm?
content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there.
Yeah,
Hell,
you got a
I
point.
could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The
That would take a
Stanley
very,
Parable
very
Ultra
long
Deluxe,
time.
Now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Okay, I feel like they're also kind of making fun here because, like, the narrator is just like, oh, this is boring, and then you get something new, and he's like, oh, well, let's see what this is. This could be exciting. He's kind of doing that sort of back and forth thing here. Am I going to fall through this floor? Nope, I'm not going to fall through the floor. Am I going to fall through it this time? Nope, still not going to fall through it. How about this time? Is it just me? Are those textures... Yeah. These textures are appearing and disappearing. How dare you! I paid for this new content, and this thing is appearing. This thing that has absolutely nothing to do with the game has not been textured or whatever properly, and now it's appearing and disappearing when I move back and forth. I am absolutely flabbergasted that you all didn't notice this and fix it before you released this game, and I paid good money for it. I want a 100% refund on a game that I paid less than 100% for. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid.
Yes.
It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I like it, but I also don't like it. Okay. I'm not going to comment on the outside of this office yet. I like it, but I also don't like it, because it's like they're making fun of things that happen a lot when people release DLC and new content and stuff like that. And, you know, people aren't impressed with it. They go on Twitter, they complain about it. They go on social media, they complain about it. But at the same time, it's like it happens. But it's just what happens, you know? Like, it's just something that people do. If they don't like DLC, then they're going to talk about how they don't like the DLC. It's just like, whatever. But, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Like, it's funny, though. It's funny. Either way, it's funny. Okay. What in the world is going on here? Mr. Narrator, do you have anything to narrate about this?
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
I don't know. That'd be pretty cramped in there. But I don't trust you. What am I talking about? I don't trust you at all. But I'm going to do this anyway because I'm interested. I trust you more, I guess. Okay. The cake is the lie. Somebody write that down in here. We need a Portal reference here, people. Easter eggs. Hello. What are these people doing? I tell you what, this custom content is just not what I paid for. It's not what I expected, you know? I expected so much from this game because it came out in 2013 and I was so amazed with it, but now this is just, it's not living up to its name, and I really don't like the way this is going. I can't believe that they just screwed this up this badly.
You remember how
and that
cheap
one
and
flicker.
unsatisfying
Yes.
the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be.
I know, right?
So I made
the
something
old Stanley
special
OG
and
Stanley
tucked it away
Parable
here where
fans,
the
you know?
game's developers won't find it.
Oh my gosh,
Just
it's so
our
beautiful.
little secret. Take a look.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, darling. Oh my gosh, the new Skyrim update.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life
Not much of a
whenever I want.
free explorer mode.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's really interesting. Can I get up on this log, please? Thank you. Nope, doesn't look like I can. Okay. This game does not. Freedom to explore is not this game's strong point. Anyway. Oh my gosh. You made this clubhouse just for us? Oh, there's the phone, except it's not green like the other one was. And this picnic basket from that time when we went out on a picnic, I remember that. Oh, that was such a great time.
You see, Stanley,
Don't
doesn't
forget the
memory zone
Stanley
remind you
Parable.
of how wonderful
Memory, sweet
Stanley
memory.
Parable was
The Stanley
before it was sullied
Parable.
with a cheap re-release?
Yeah.
Remember back in October of 2013?
When
the
it was
game originally
released.
launched?
Yes.
Back then,
Yes.
video games had
the
integrity.
yeah.
Back then, it all meant something.
It was so much better back then.
Waste.
In the old days. Oh, look at these postcards. Back then, back in the good old days. Back when everything, our first kiss, my first car. What the heck? Okay, back in the old days when everything was perfect and everything was good and definitely not tainted by the nostalgia of my mind that's like overshadowing everything. Audience award for the Stanley Parable. Aw. The Stanley Parable Collector's Edition. Aw. Aw. Good times, good times. I remember those two doors. I remember how you remember how I always used to choose the right one even though you told me to pick the left one? You remember that so long ago? Oh. We had some good times together, man. Yes. Why does this say 1951 on it? I don't know. Oh, the original the original remake? What the heck? Alright, anyway. Smile because it happened. Oh my gosh, the Stanley Parable demonstration? There's a demo? Oh, well, I didn't even play the demo. Was it different somehow? $1! Oh, look at that good old United States currency. I remember when we had cash back in the day. Now it's just all on credit cards. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement, but people still have the achievement. Fun fact. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. Ah, man! I ruined my streak! No, I was gonna get the don't play for 5 years achievement. And now I've ruined. Maybe I can get it on the first game. I can probably get it on the first game. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I was gonna get that achievement. Because I played this after 2000. If you're wondering about the timelines, I played this after 2013. I played it a good time after its release, but yeah. I can't remember the last time I played it, actually. Which is probably a good thing if I'm going for my 5-year streak. New video game release and wow, they got in their newspaper. Colleges show uneven efforts to enroll the poor. 50% off designer hats. But a small creature owns the other half. What? Oh my gosh, you remember that time that Stanley died? Ah, yes. Okay, anyway. In loving memory of little Stanley? Aww. Was that a real-life hamster that died? Or are you making fun of that too? I can't even sit on the benches. This is an impenetrable flower bush. I was not expecting voice talent in this. Well, other than yours, Mr. Narrator. What is this? I don't like this. This feels weird. Okay, I'm just gonna do it anyway.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing.
I know.
It's no games at all.
It's ruined.
It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
It's a terrible thing. Those greedy video game developers who ruin their art. These rocks are weird. They're making me feel weird things. I'm gonna go out of here now. What's in this basement? Memory zone maintenance? Person of the year. Is that the narrator? Ah, I remember the off and on buttons. It was so long ago. Alright. Ah, the memories. Ah, these boxes. Ah, this globe.
Here's another moving
carpet
passage,
textures.
this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game.
That's
9
true.
out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else.
Yes,
it didn't
I know.
need new content.
I know.
It just needed to be left alone.
It's so true.
To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
It's true. Everything was perfect until they ruined it. Oh, what a tragedy. Oh.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
I love how the narrator's treating me like I'm his dearest friend when half the time in the Stanley Parable we were like at each other's throats. Cold drinks.
Oh no. God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Honestly, I could not
Honestly,
be
I could not be
bothered to
bothered
play this game in full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny,
unfunny,
with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining.
Unfunny.
I
I'm trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a
Frick.
serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
This is getting interesting. Alright, Stanley Parable, I may have misjudged you. I thought you were going to make fun of me for buying this new content, and it turns out you're actually, like, making me think about things, which is arguably worse. Steam reviews. Giant shipping containers of Steam reviews. That's true. When you get as big as this, there's gonna be people who don't like the game. And it's fine that they don't like the game, but the thing is, like, when people don't like the game and they have to, like, crap on it because they have to somehow justifying them not liking it other than they just don't like it. It's like, I don't like the game PT. Everybody seems to like that game when it came out, but I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of tedious. But at the same time, like, I can see why other people would think it was scary, and I see why other people liked it. But I don't have to crap on the game. I just don't like it. It's not me. And yeah, that's a lot of what this is. I thought this game was really great, and so did a whole bunch of other people. But there are probably some people who wouldn't like it. There are probably some people who think the narrator is obnoxious, and they just want to find a game to play and have fun with. And this isn't a gameplay kind of game. It's a game to make you think. It's a game to make you want to explore around and see what all the possibilities and stuff like that. So yeah. And that's my 2 cents on it. This is probably going to get to some sort of unserious, nonsensical thing. It's kind of interesting, though, because if any of you are, like, Markiplier fans, recently, In Space with Markiplier came out. And I don't think you have to be a Markiplier fan to have heard about that. You just have to be around on YouTube. But a lot of it has to do with a lot of the same things as this, making choices when you really aren't equipped to make those choices, when you really don't know what's going on. Because in this game, you kind of know what's going on, but you don't know what to do. You don't know the nature of this reality or anything like that, and there's no necessarily right choice to make. But you make your choices, and you find the endings, and you think about it, you know?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking.
Is it
for
preachy?
me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
So I can see why some people would think of these games as kind of preachy. But at the same time, like, the Stanley Parable is not telling you how to think. It's just giving you choices and then commenting on the choices that you have. One of the things I admired about the game is that it didn't make sense. Like, there was no right or wrong way to go. And the different endings had all sorts of different things. They forgot about all the other endings. And the game made no sense and went in 1,000 different directions. And it didn't tell you how to think about it. Like, I guess that's kind of the opposite of preachy. It really just didn't tell you how to think about it. I'm having fun. In a weird way. I don't think the narrator's having a lot of fun right now. I like the squishy sound effects, though.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening.
Okay.
I wish there was a skip button.
Well... Okay, first of all,
A skip button.
a skip button.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that.
No, we can't.
If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
No, Mr.
Not if
Narrator.
it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Okay, this is kind of interesting. So it's gone from, like, this new content, which is... You put out new content, DLC, because you want people to buy it. Sometimes it seems like, okay, you're putting out DLC and stuff like that just to please the customers, to give them something new so they'll give you more money. But then he went from that to saying that the Stanley Parable, they shouldn't have messed around with it. It should have stayed what it was. They shouldn't have been money grubbing or something like that. And now that he's reading the negative reviews, he's kind of backing off that. It's... I don't know. I guess I'll just see how it plays out. I don't want a skip button. I like hearing your voice, Mr. Narrator. That is a truth about the game. There are times when the narrator is talking longer than it takes for you to do anything. But at the same time, the game doesn't stop you from moving forward most of the time when that happens. So I've never found it, like, tedious. That's one of the things I do agree with. Like, if there's parts of your games that are potentially tedious to people who are replaying it or something like that, you do want to try to streamline that process so that they can have the most fun as possible. But I don't think that was ever really a problem with the Stanley Parable. I feel like, you know, you were playing it partially to hear the thoughts that the narrator had on everything, first of all. And if you really wanted to skip past it, you could just keep walking forward. There were very few parts of the game where he just wouldn't let you continue unless... Oh. I don't want the skip button, Mr. Narrator. I don't like it.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth.
I can make a choice here.
We all
I can
until
wait.
the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah.
Is
We've
clock
eaten too
actually
much and
moving?
it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the
I wanna
logic
see.
of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years.
That's
until
some
just
real
yesterday,
dedication put
here
into
and
this
there,
clock.
forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say,
It's
the
impressive
story and the choices,
how much
or what
nothing
have
he
you,
can say.
and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until
Okay,
inevitably
the
we all
other
until
hands
the
aren't moving,
end
it's just
of
the
time,
second hand.
at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture.
Okay,
It
I
went
guess there's
on
no
for
other way to
nearly
proceed.
10,000 years. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it
It's
was
gonna make me
perhaps
press it
less
again.
of a
I don't
rumination
want to
and
hurt the
more of a
narrator's
treatise.
feelings. Why are
Or
you making me do
maybe
this
a
game?
manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think.
Okay.
Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone?
Yeah, I
it
would
has
say.
a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor.
Okay.
It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley.
Got it.
It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations.
Disaster.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. I'll skip through this.
Manifesto.
I say this.
Treatise. Manifesto.
I say this,
Treatise.
and then I
Manifesto.
refuse to press
Treatise.
the skip button.
Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto.
I was actually kind of
Treatise.
interested in what he was saying,
Manifesto.
though, was the thing.
Treatise.
Because I could kind of
Manifesto.
get it. Like,
Treatise.
obviously, it was
Manifesto.
supposed to be pretty nonsensical,
Treatise.
but
Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto.
you're gonna make me press it again, aren't you?
Treatise. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof,
dear.
and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work,
Why are you doing this to me?
Will instantly run out and implement a new
Okay,
feature to make it
you know
possible
what?
to edit
You know
one
what? You're gonna make me the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy.
Welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it?
There's no door.
But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated.
Well, we're gonna have to
and
go
we can
somewhere.
say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Yep, that's right.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before.
There was.
How else would we have gotten into the room in the first
Well,
place?
we teleport
I don't
around a
think
lot.
One can enter a room without a door of some sort.
It's happened
or a
before.
Window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole?
Yeah.
A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door.
I could sit here and listen to him, or I could make the inevitable choice of pressing the skip button again.
Maybe just ram your way
I
through a
will
wall.
try.
Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me.
I'm
here.
trying.
We need a door.
I
We need a door of some
am
kind.
trying.
I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button.
All right,
Got
buddy.
it? Yes, good.
I trust you.
I'll be right back.
I trust you. There's probably a secret here if you wait for like 5 hours. I've already been recording for an hour. This video is going to be a monster to edit, and we haven't done half of what you can do in this game. I really like this game. I really do. I'm not going to lie about that at all. Okay. Waiting for the narrator to come back. Please come back. I know very well that if you wait here for long enough, something could happen. But also, there's, on the flip side, a very real possibility that nothing is going to happen. So, I could, for time's sake, press this button and get on with the playthrough. Or I could, for principle's sake, continue to wait until I see no possible way that the game devs could have, in their right minds, programmed something that far ahead. However, there was a part in the original Stanley Parable where you had to press a button and eventually 2 buttons for 5 hours to get an ending. And ladies and gentlemen, as much as I love this game, I'm not waiting around here for 5 hours. I'm gonna leave that to somebody who has more time and less impatience than me. So, unfortunately, Mr. Narrator, I feel like I'm betraying you. I guess I could reset the game if I really did want it to be a matter of principle instead of skipping, but I want to see where this ending is going. I feel bad. I feel actually bad. I don't want to skip past the narrator. What if we skip like 1,000 years? What if he's stuck in limbo for like 1,000 years or something like that? What if it's increasing exponentially? What if it's like, it went from 1 exclamation mark to 2 exclamation mark to 3 exclamation mark, and now it's going to 4 exclamation mark, and it's going to be so long. But I think we all know the choice that I'm inevitably going to make anyway, so...
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley.
No door.
There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it.
Yeah, I was
and
wondering about
have
that,
to
actually.
believe. I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you?
I don't know.
I've been thinking and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue.
I really
It's all
want to
out of my
see this
control now.
ending.
Just you, just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone.
Oh my
Surely
gosh, I just want to see the ending. Stop it.
Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll
Why
not
are
be
you
moved by my howls
guilt-tripping
of
me?
fitful anxiety that you sit with
you
me
want-
and just stay here. Oh, no, no, no. I know
Okay,
you too well.
okay.
You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
Oh, and
those
it's
reviews that I
looping.
couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't.
Okay, you know
ignore the
what?
negative-
You know what? I'm gonna just reset the game. I can't do it. I feel too bad for him. I can't just leave him to sit there for all eternity. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't.
else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it. Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible, the spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves, they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the... The end is never the end, 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 is never the